Okay, auction time. This is a 3D series auction. 3D01. This is a raw chert biface. I would say medium grade. It can be heat treated to about 400 degrees and it would become a higher grade. Not the highest, but it would become higher for sure. 7 5/8 by 3 1/4. 3/4 inches thick. Yeah, I had some more of these larger pieces, so I decided to biface one last night. And I'm just going to offer it by itself. Let you guys finish it out. There's a couple of little defects in there. There's one right there that might give you trouble. I tried to get everything else out. Yeah. There's a couple areas. So yeah, just bid accordingly. It's not a perfect piece, but I don't see any cracks or any defects other than that spot there and maybe something going on here. And it's kind of rough in this area. Okay. Two objects in this next item. Let's see. 3D02. Two objects under this item number. I made both of these on video. They're both Nolan style points. This one has a crack in it. But yeah, you can see these on video. Texas chert, raw. I don't know what type of chert it is. All my chert is all mixed up. So, well, I can't say all of it. Most of it is mixed together, so I don't know where it came from. If I know where it comes from, I'll let you know. But yeah, this is it's mainly Central Texas chert and gravel cherts from around the state. Because I get some of it from landscape supply yards, or I pick it up on dirt roads from different places. All right. Yeah, both raw pieces. $3D03. There's 3 objects in this item number. These are all coastal plains heat treat, various stages of bifacing. This is just a preliminary biface. This one is a little bit more refined and smaller, and this one is a refined biface, not quite a preform. I consider this a trade blank, and these are like hoary blanks or just bifaces. Preliminary bifaces. Okay, so it's coastal plains chert, translucent, beautiful material. I tried to get all the imperfections out. I don't see any concrete, no internal fractures, and I think it's all heat treat to 345, so it's below 400. So it still has a little bit of the original toughness to it, which makes it kind of good if you want something more durable than the heat treat that goes above 400. It does heat treat at a higher temperature. I've got some that I heated to 450 or 475, and it worked out pretty good. But this is the low temp heat treat, I think. This one might be I think these for sure will be the low temp. This might be the higher temp heat treat at 475 or 450 or 425. I can't remember now. Anyway, I might have trimmed this up on video. I can't remember. Anyway, it's all together under one item number. 3D04. This is a Mallory point, and this is a Duncan point. These are high plains archaic points, probably used to hunt bison. Not the extinct variety. That was paleo and before. Anyway, the Duncan is this is a late archaic point. It is ground on the base. It does look paleo, but it's a late archaic. So it's thousands of years later than Clovis. Like 10,000 year difference. Okay. This one is a mid to late archaic point. This one came before the Duncan, as far as I know. Okay, so they went from notch points to stemmed points. They got rid of the notches for some reason. Anyway, I tried to make the blades the same size. The reason why I include these two together is they're under the same cluster. I forgot the name of the cluster of points, but they're from the same culture, apparently. Okay, these are both Texas heat treats. Sharpened all the way around. Okay. I probably should have measured. Yeah, 3D03. I'm going to measure these. So there'll be 2 timestamps for 3D03. 4 1/4. 3. 2 1/2. 3 1/2. 3 1/2. 2. Okay. I forgot to measure those. All right. $3D05. These are both raw cherts, Central Texas cherts. This one I made into a Martindale. It's a little bit thin for a Martindale. I've got real ones, or the bases anyway, of real Martindales, and they're hefty down here. But I kind of thinned it down just for the video. I have this one on video. I think I have both of these on video. Yeah. Both of these are on video. I decided to include them together because they're the same size. So if you wanted to make a Martindale out of this one, you can just copy this one. Or maybe not. You can do whatever you want with it. Yeah. Raw cherts, high grade cherts. Not super high grade, but they are high grade cherts. What would be better than these? Georgetown, the higher grade Georgetown is probably going to nap better than these, but these are pretty good. Okay. $3D06. I got a request to do a Clovis in the comment section of one of my videos, so I was up pretty late last night, and the last point that I made was this little Clovis. And this is not on video. And this is a heat treat. There's a little bit of color gradient, but the material is easy to nap on both ends. So it was pretty good. It was easy to do the thinning flakes. Let's see, almost 3 inches by almost 1.25 inches. 1.25 at the widest part. Okay, typical size for a Clovis, I think. 3-to-1 ratio as far as length to width goes. I don't know what the ratio is on the thickness. It's 1/4 inch, so it's between 4-to-1 and 5-to-1. If it was 1.25 inches, it'd be 5-to-1. Yeah, right there's 1.25 inches, so it's 5-to-1 here. Okay, yeah, pretty typical cross section, thinned down tip, but it stays pretty hefty all the way until it gets to the very tip. So on most Clovises. All right. Oops. Okay, so now we're getting into the boxes. 3D07. Let me include this next one also. 3D08. These are boxes of heat treat. Tested heat treat. They, let's see. I've got it written here where it's 550 to 575, but that's some of these. This one here is 475. Okay, so they're heated to different temperatures. All right, so, but they're tested heat treats. I tested to make sure there's no internal crazing or issues or cracks or really bad concrete. Okay. Some of these are flakes. I didn't test these thin flakes. They should be fine. But I did test the thicker pieces, and some of this is concretey, like that piece right there. I tried to get rid of most of it. It's not that difficult to just take another flake there. This has some Cortex on it, but the interior looks fine. Yeah, this is Central Texas heat treat. I've got the flake for this, yeah. This flake came off this piece. So that's how when I tested it, it's very nice. I bifaced it before I heat treated it. Let's see. Some of these other, maybe another one has another flake included. Anyway, these are Medina County cherts in Texas. Let's see. I have a loose flake here. This might just be a loose flake. This is the same stuff as this, which is a little more grainy. It's a mid-grade heat treat. This stuff is a higher grade heat treat right here. So that range from mid-grade heat treat to high-grade heat treat. And last one here, this one is a high-grade heat treat. Okay. Yeah, this is just a random flake. I don't know where it came from. So that one is 3D07. 3D08, same stuff, just a different box and different shapes. I do have smaller flakes in this batch than the other batch. Let's see. Yeah, it's all tested. It's all high grade or medium grade. Medium to high grade. It's all medium to high grade stuff. There's no really low grade stuff on here. This looked a little bit low grade, but I took a flake off and it naps really well, so I consider it a medium grade. It's not glossy. If it was glossy and very flexible, which means that the flakes come off extremely easily, then I would say it's a high grade, but it's a medium grade. This one is a higher grade here. Yeah, it's more glossy and the flakes are more flexible. It's hard to describe what the flexibility means, but you can kind of get the idea once you nap it. These are kind of dry. This is a lower grade heat treat, but it's a mid grade. Yeah, I included some flakes. Some of these flakes go with some of these bifaces and some of them don't. This is a high grade heat treat. You see these flakes come off really nice. And the interior or the stone becomes more glossy than the original stone. And it naps really well, so that's what I consider a high grade heat treat. Okay. And if there's any room left in these boxes, 3D08 or 3D07. I'll put some more random heat treat flakes in there. Yeah. There's not much room in that box, but okay. Anyway. Next box, 3D09. This is a box of random raw cherts. Coastal plains. Let's see, 4 inches by 2 1/4. That's a typical size. Medina County, nice piece. Should be, even though it has some cortex, just under the cortex is usually really nice stuff. This is a high grade. I don't know what kind of chert it is. They're all Texas cherts. I would consider this a medium grade because it's slightly unpredictable. There is a patch of concrete there. It doesn't look too bad. There might be a little bit of an issue with this stuff. You're going to lose some width on this one. But the other, if it doesn't have anything included in it, it's a high grade chert. Yeah, when it's clear, it's high grade stuff. And you can tell kind of that it flakes easily by that brick right there. Didn't take much to do that. You know what I mean? High grade stuff looks like that. Lower grade will crush a lot. Anyway, I don't think I did any of these on video. This is just an old spall that I had. There might be a crack right there. Yeah, there probably is. So you'll lose some length on this one. But this is a root beerish type of high grade chert. Same with this one, root beer type stuff. Raw. These are all raw pieces. Raw chert. And all from Texas except the coastal plain stuff. And I napped this last night. I'm pretty sure this one's a raw piece, but I could be wrong. It could be a heat treat. It napped well, so I was surprised. I just said, cool. I can't remember if it was heat treated at one time or not. But this is raw. All right. So that's this box. They're just various random Texas cherts except for the coastal plains. Yeah, very nice piece of coastal plains. Got some more coastal plains, 3D10. Coastal plains chert heated to 440 degrees. So the coloration is a little bit darker. And it's a little bit glossier when you nap it than the lower heat treat that I tried first. I tried the 345 first. It worked, but this stuff will nap a little bit easier. Now I included small flakes because I don't have much of this in the big flake. This is the big flake here. That's the only big flake. All the other ones are smaller flakes. 4 by 2.5. Okay. I tried to include the ones that didn't have much curve or the ones that didn't have any curve, and all of the thin ones that were flat. I got some thicker ones that were flat, but I didn't include them in this because I'm going to use them. But yeah, some of these, all you need to do is trim around the edges, pretty much. But yeah, all heat treated. We're all in the same batch. Some of this is pretty colorful stuff. It has inclusions and really cool things going on. This got a hole right there, so be aware of that. That's a hole. So when you skim off the top, it'll probably show through, which you may or may not like. Okay, some of these still have a little bit of cortex. It's hard to offer a lot of flakes if you don't include some cortex. Like this, you're going to lose a lot of the edge on this one here because that's all cortex. This one is like half cortex on this side and half good stuff. Anyway, you get the idea. Should keep you busy for a while. All right. $3D11. This is a box of bifaces, and these are all raw as far as I know. Medina County chert, raw, high, medium grade, 6 1/4 by 3 3/4. I tried to make sure there were no defects, no cracks, no big patches of concrete, no inconsistencies. This is just a partially undetached flake here. It's not a crack in the stone. This is a mid-grade chert, so it may be difficult for beginners to knap it without getting a ton of step fractures. All right? I left you enough meat in there that you can run some big flakes like this to clear out the middle. Now, if you're a new guy buying this stuff, just be aware that this is very steppy. You'll notice it right away. You'll take your bopper and you'll trim it up and you'll prepare a platform and you'll strike it and you'll get a step fracture if you're a new guy. Okay? Let's see. Here we go. This is another raw piece of chert, 6 1/4 by 3 1/2. This one was pretty easy to knap, actually. I think I napped this one last night. Yeah, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because this one was lucky. I was about to not offer this because it was a big old defect in here. There was an island developing here, but I managed to take 2 flakes to clean that up. There's still a rise right there. These are difficult to get out unless you've got some experience. I would just leave it in, but that's just me. Otherwise, I don't see any major obstacle in the contour, except for maybe that step fracture there. That can be picked out maybe, but it's raw, right? You can heat treat these. You can heat treat this one to 400 and be very safe. This one I would not take it any higher than 300 to start. Start it at 300 and then test it. If you want, it naps fine raw. I would not heat treat this, but if you want to heat treat it, I'd try 300 first. Nothing higher than 300. Or you take a chip off, take a flake off first, and heat treat that and see if you like it or see if it works. Be careful about heat treating this one. This one here, I can't remember if this is a heat treat or a high grade raw. What I do remember, it was very easy to nap. I napped these yesterday. Yeah, all of these I napped yesterday. This one's very easy to nap. I don't know what kind of chert it is. I wish I had a ton of it. It's like Pedernales chert, I think. 3 1/2. Almost 5. Edwards Plateau. Okay, so this one is a mid-grade chert, mid to lower grade, but some guys like this stuff because it's very durable. Just be aware, if you're a new guy and you're trying to nap this, it will also be very steppy. But again, I left some meat in there so you could run big flakes to clean out the middle. If it's too thin, if I offer these that are too thin, you won't be able to run big old flakes to clean out anything in the middle. Okay, so there's four bifaces. Did I measure this one? I don't even know. 5¼ by 3.5. Yeah, this is a mid to low grade. You might find issues in it, like there's some concrete there. It flaked through there okay, so I didn't consider that a bad spot. And what concrete I can see in there are just little spots. They shouldn't stop the flakes. Okay, so that's what I would consider lower grade. If there's concrete that'll stop flaking, I consider that a lower grade. And if it's fighting you all the whole way, if it was fighting me all the whole way, I would consider it low grade. But that one did not put up a fight. All right. That was that last video, fighting with chert. That was something else, or fighting with trash flint. Now that was hard stuff to nap. None of this is hard. This is all much easier in comparison to that trash flint. All right. All right, last box, 3D12. These are small bifaces or medium-sized bifaces of random raw cherts, Texas cherts. 3 3/4, 2.5. This is what I have most of. I have mostly this kind of stuff in my stash of rocks. I'm running very low now on the bigger stuff, which is okay because I'm going to get rid of all the bigger stuff. I'm going to give it to you guys, or let you guys bid on it. All right. This is a low grade chert, raw, because it does have issues with a toughness and graininess, like right there. You can heat treat this. All these rocks that I've been showing you that are bifaces, these can all be heat treated, but you got to be careful, especially with the darker cherts. The darker cherts you want to start heating at 300, and then let it sit at 300 for a couple hours, and then turn it off and let it cool down. Take it out and nap it. Don't go any higher than 300 on the first heat treat if you want to try to heat treat these. This one here can probably survive a 400 pretty easily. I don't see any problem putting this in at 400 or even 500 degrees. But I would thin it down a little bit first. Same with this. I would thin it down first or test a flake before you heat treat. Some of these darker cherts, they look grainy and nasty and look like they might need a lot of heat, but they will break up on you at temperatures above 300 in many cases. So just heat treat these at 300 or less. Some of them will respond to 275, believe it or not. Anyway, this is a mid-grade chert here because there's some inconsistencies. There's some that naps really nice and some that doesn't. So I consider that a mid-grade. Okay. This is a high-grade chert, but it can be finicky and steppy. It will get very translucent when it gets thin. And I don't recommend heat treating this, although it can be heat treated. And I might have even lightly heat treated this at 300. I can't remember. This was a while ago. This nodule I've had for quite some time. I was going to save it for myself because it's so nice, right? It is a Texas chert, but it reminds me a little bit of Knife River. I don't have much of this. I was saving it for myself, but I'm going to let it go. 4x3, and like I said, I might have heat treated this at a low heat treat, somewhere around 300. I might have, I can't remember, but it napped really well yesterday when I was napping it. This is a low to mid grade raw. I think this is the only one that that has the possibility of being heat treated. Everything else is raw. 4, a little bit over 2.5. This side nap looks nice. I think both sides napped pretty well. This was the cortex side, so you're going to have to skim this off. But I tried to get past the cortex to get into the stone itself. There is some issues here on this side that you'll need to skim off, but those issues don't go very deep. There may be a little bit of cracking going on here. It's very difficult to get these higher grade cherts without cracks. There's one right there, but I don't know. I don't think that goes all the way through. This is, I think this is raw, but it could be a heat treat as well. I just kind of napped it and threw it in there. High grade raw. Well, it's a mid grade because it has some inconsistencies. This is a high grade raw. Yeah. Kind of root beerish. A root beer, the root beerish is almost a deep brown color. Root beer I consider to be deep brown in color and translucent. This is not quite as deep a brown color as what I consider to be root beer. So that's why I say root beerish. All right, so this one is also raw. I believe it is a mid-grade combination of very low-grade, difficult to nap areas with high-grade. This is high-grade stuff. And just under the cortex is very, very nice. So if you're a new guy and you're napping this, you're going to have a little bit of trouble with the concrete. In fact, you might have a lot of trouble with it. Just be aware and bid accordingly. There is concrete in this. Now I can nap through this concrete, but I've gotten used to it. If you want to heat treat this, it should heat treat at 400 just fine, and the concrete will get better after you heat treat. So you may not have issues if you're a new guy. All right. And that's it. That's just 12 items in this auction. Okay. Rules. Please bid in the comments section under one of my pre-populated comments showing the timestamp and the item number. All right. The timestamp will show where the item appears in the video. You just click on the timestamp and it'll bring it to you. It'll bring you to it. If I see your comment or your bid, I will hit the like button on your comment or your bid. Same thing. Comment, bid. You bid in the comment section. Just look at the other auctions and you'll get the hang of it. All right. And it's important that you notice that I like your bid. If you don't see a like on your bid, I might not see it. YouTube is kind of quirky. Sometimes people can see your comments. Sometimes they can't. Just be aware of that. If I see it, I will definitely hit the like button. I will check more often as time progresses. The auction ends at 9 p.m. Eastern. As time progresses toward the 9 p.m. mark, I will check more and more often. And just send me an email if you don't see a like on your comment or your bid. All right? It ends at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. I will close out the bidding, and I will announce the winners starting at 9:01 Eastern time. Try not to bid at the last minute. I'm using YouTube's time tracker on the comments. It's not always accurate. What that means is everyone sees the time that you bid, or how old your bid is, or how old your comment is. I'm using that time tracker to judge who is on time or not. One thing I've noticed, for the most part, YouTube does put the timing in chronological order correctly, but it may not show the number time correctly. It might be 2 minutes off, but chronologically it'll be fine. But if you are bidding at the last minute, especially in the last 2 minutes, YouTube may not show the correct time and you'll look like you bid too late and I won't count your bid. Okay, so just be aware of that. Shipping is free in the U.S. International shipping is not free. If you win and you're an international bidder, I will add $20 if it fits in a first class package. I will add $30 if the item is in a small flat rate box. This is still lower than the actual international shipping, so you do have some discount. Okay, but it is free in the U.S. All right, I will provide tracking numbers. I accept PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, check or money order. I can also send you an invoice by email that you can pay with a card. Winners will be announced starting at 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time. I will reply to the winning bid or comment with sold, the item number, the price. Please email me your name, address, etc. Yeah, if you haven't already done business with me, I don't have your email and I don't have your information, and I'm not able to figure out if YouTube has private messaging or not. I don't think it does. So I can't send you a private message if you want. You've got to check the comment section and I'll respond to your bid, and then you send me the email and you send me all your information, your name, your address, so I know where to send it. If your YouTube name is different from your email or your real name, let me know. Okay? Yeah, so just pay attention to the comments, please. Keep an eye on this message. If you win, I will cut and paste this reply to your winning bid, and then you send me an email. If you've already done business with me, sometimes you can skip that part. All right? Let's see here. There is a more complete description of the rules in the description box. If you have any questions, please see the previous auctions or email me at jackcrafty2@gmail.com. All right, that's it for the rules. Well, there's more complete rules. And if you have any questions, just send me an email, and I'll try to get it straightened out. Okay? Hope you guys had a good weekend, and good luck.